Double-proxy marriages are on the rise. The Metaverse allows children into virtual strip clubs, and a woman quit her job to breastfeed her boyfriend full-time. These are the weird stories for Thursday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian. I'm Jonesy, and I'm recording in a closet as usual. I have 3 weird stories from around the world for your ears only for you. Double-proxy marriages are on the rise. What the hell is a double-proxy marriage? We have so many questions. Let's learn something. Double-proxy marriages are increasing in Montana, and only Montana. In a proxy marriage, a representative, known as a proxy, stands in place of either of the participants. In a double-proxy marriage, the participants are both completely absent from the marriage ceremony. Each is represented by a proxy. Well, I've never heard of this before. Why wouldn't you want to be present for your marriage ceremony? I guess if one of you has severe BO, that could be a barrier to wanting to be in each other's presence. I'd imagine a long-distance situation. This would sort of fix that. Eventually, we're all going to be getting married in virtual reality anyways, and we're not going to be present for anything physically. We're just going to be in a comfortable chair, like larvae, hooked up to the Metaverse, doing everything there right from our chair. Making virtual love, having virtual babies, working a virtual job, living a virtual life. Turning into a slug. That's extremely negative, Jonesy. I know. Let's hope it doesn't happen like that. Now, Montana, surprisingly, is the only state where double proxy marriages are legal. In order to qualify, you must either be a Montana resident or an active duty military member. They interviewed somebody named Peg, who works in Montana at the courthouse. She says, "It first came to my attention when an attorney called me about 20 years ago. I was a little surprised. It's a little strange, but that was our very first double proxy marriage. We had arranged for a couple of proxy to stand in place of a couple of spouses, and because they were overseas and they were married. We saw a very gradual increase over the last 20 years. In fact, in 2019, we were doing about 1,200 of these double proxy marriages annually, and then COVID hit. In 2020, we did 4,200 of them. In 2021, we did another 4,000 of them. People weren't able to travel, gather in groups, and I think double proxy became widely used because of this pandemic." Apparently, this double proxy marriage is popular in the military. Armed Forces Proxy Marriages in Big Fork is one of the providers of these double proxy marriages. The company explains on its website, Montana allows active duty military personnel to participate in double proxy marriages, which neither you nor your fiancé is required to actually be present. Montana proxy marriages are legal, binding unions, and are recognized by all states and all branches of the U.S. military. We can marry you whether you are stationed at home, abroad, or deployed. Montana will marry same-sex couples as well through proxy marriage. Now we have a little bit of history. This law has been in place since Montana became a state in 1889, in fact. We have another quote from Peg, who works at the courthouse. "I think that one intention of the Montana legislature was to provide an opportunity for persons that either lived a long way from a county seat. We are a very rural state, as you know, and 100 years ago, it took quite an effort to get people, get them over to the county seat. And if someone is in the service, it's nearly impossible to get them to come in. Yeah. Well, I mean, this just illustrates how easy it is to get married in this country. I mean, you can get married in 20 minutes. You don't even have to be present to get married. You can go through a drive-thru and get married. Try to get divorced, on the other hand. Oh boy. Far more expensive. A whole hell of a lot more paperwork. You get pushback from government. They don't want you to get divorced. They don't. They want you to stay married. It's so easy. Pretty soon you're just going to be able to ping somebody on an app and you're married. There you go. You can marry a complete stranger. The state does not care. Just roll up. "Oh, you guys just met? That's fascinating. How'd you meet?" "Well, we were in 7-Eleven. We both reached for the same Four Loko." "Oh, that's nice. Sounds like it's going to be a long-lasting relationship. Okay, do you know each other's last names? Let's get down to it, okay?" Bam, you're married. Try to get divorced, though? "Oh, no. Hey, wait a minute now. You strangers, you stick it out. You guys stick it out, okay?" And then we wonder why there's so many divorces and dysfunctional nuclear families going around, broken homes. Wow, I wonder why. Because you don't even have to be present to marry another human being. Unbelievable. Nothing shows, hey, we don't spend a lot of time in each other's presence than a double proxy marriage. Am I right? Children can visit strip clubs in the virtual metaverse, and experts are alarmed. A BBC News researcher using an app with a minimum age rating of 13 visited a virtual reality room where avatars were simulating sex. Shocking. She was shown sex toys. She was shown condoms. She was approached by numerous adult men. My goodness. The metaverse is the name given to games and experiences accessed by people wearing virtual reality headsets. The technology, previously confined to gaming, could be adapted for use in many other areas, from work to play to concerts, even going to the movies. You can make a friend in the metaverse. Are they really your friend, though? If you haven't heard of the metaverse, just listen to Mark Zuckerberg. He talks about it a lot. He thinks it could be the future of the internet. So much so that, if you don't know, he recently rebranded Facebook as Meta, with the company investing billions developing its Oculus Quest headset. This Oculus Quest headset was a very popular gift around Christmas this year. People are getting into the world of virtual reality. I have a friend that does comedy shows in virtual reality. He makes a little money. He has a great time. A lot of our behaviors are moving into the world of the metaverse. It's just the future. We can't avoid it. So, of course, there's going to be strip clubs. Of course. There's going to be a lot of entertainment in there. Of course, you have to have safeguards for such things. Age-appropriate entertainment. There's got to be a way to suss that out. It's the very beginning of virtual reality, though, so it's just going to... This is a growing pain at the moment until we figure this out. And children are going to be exposed to such things. It's not any worse than porn, by the way. For the sake of this article, I watched on YouTube a couple virtual reality strip clubs, and it's actually not even close to as bad as porn. Not even close. You're looking at video game characters, essentially. They don't look like real people so much. Little bit, but not really. Let's dig into the article, though, and find out what sort of alarmist approach this researcher has. The individual created a fake profile to set up her account. Her real identity was not checked. Inside VR, there are rooms where users can meet. Some are innocent and everyday, such as a McDonald's restaurant, for example. Ooh, yay. But there are also those evil strip clubs with the pole dancing. Oh, gross. This is the devil's work. There's devilish activity in the VR world. Children mix freely with adults, it says. One man told our researcher that avatars can, quote, get naked and do unspeakable things. Others talked about, quote, erotic role-playing. My goodness. We can't expose the children to this. Nah, better get them out of the strip club and back to playing those first-person shooter games where you can blast somebody's neck right off. That's more appropriate for the children than this stuff. You guys know that. Another quote says, it's children being exposed to entirely inappropriate, really incredible, harmful experiences. Gosh, goodness gracious. Don't worry, there's always church. That'll save them. Now, the Meta company says they have tools that allow players to block other users if they want to. They're looking to make safety improvements as they learn how people interact in these new virtual spaces. Yeah, like I said, it's growing pains. You got to figure this out. It's going to take a little while. Meanwhile, you can block people, just like on other apps. You still get. I still get crazy messages in Instagram. This is a part of the world in social media and VR. This is part of the world. And rather than remove everybody from certain environments, you have to equip everybody with the knowledge and education how to deal with a situation that is unsavory. How to block somebody, how to report somebody. That's what you do. You act like adults. And again, I'll reiterate, I don't see this big-time push to keep the children away from those violent games. I would argue those are so much worse. I've played these first-person shooter games. It's like 12-year-olds playing this shit. I mean, that's not okay. On some level, it's not okay. And also, this comes down to parenting. The parents are responsible to be on top of what the children are exposing themselves to on social media and I'd imagine in VR as well. I don't know how you do that, but you'll have to figure it out. It's hard being a parent. I agree. That's why if you don't have time to be a parent, don't do it. Because right now, more than ever, you need to really be on top of shit. Because as soon as you give the kid a smartphone, it's on, man. I mean, porn is right there. So easy. So easy. Violent videos, violent images. Yeah. I mean, far more insidious things than a virtual strip club. Trust me. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Call the show, 646-450-2012. Yay! You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. A woman quit her job so she can breastfeed her boyfriend full-time. A woman in Atlanta says she has quit her job in order to pump enough breast milk to feed her bodybuilding boyfriend every 2 hours. Her name is Jennifer. Jennifer left her job as a bartender so she could go produce enough milk for her boyfriend, Brad, full-time. Jennifer says she was single when she found a website about adult breastfeeding relationships, also known as ABR. Wow, I've never heard of this. Adult breastfeeding relationships. Okay. Here's a quote from her. I've always enjoyed my breasts being touched during sex more than anything else, so I knew I would enjoy this breastfeeding relationship. I use dating sites. I put messages on ABR forums and even put an advert on Craigslist, but I drew it blank. I started to think I'd never get to try adult breastfeeding, ever. Eventually, she started talking with Brad, a former high school boyfriend. I thought it was perfect. It was perfect time to bring up adult breastfeeding with Brad, just to see if he'd be interested, you know? Jennifer, age 36, gave birth to her daughter 20 years ago and said she had to dry breastfeed Brad every 2 hours and use a breast pump to fool her body into lactating. Okay, so she dry breastfed him every 2 hours and then used the breast pump to fool her body into lactating. Okay. Just trying to wrap my head around how this all works. I've taken a break from my job at bartending because I want to devote everything to making this breastfeeding relationship work. Oh boy. Okay, Jennifer. Well, they're consenting parties. It's all good. She enjoys it. He enjoys it. There's nothing wrong with that. Jennifer says she believes adult breastfeeding will create a, quote, magical bond between them. And Brad, meanwhile, hopes that nursing will give his body healthy benefits. Oh, what are the healthy benefits of breast milk? From a beautiful woman, I wonder. Critics on social media, though, have criticized these people. There's always critics. It's just two people trying to find happiness, man. They're not hurting anybody. I don't see what's wrong with it. It's not like she's trying to breastfeed a bridge, These women trying to marry bridges and planes. She's not trying to breastfeed a 747. It's another man. It's consensual. He enjoys it. She enjoys it. There's nothing wrong with this. Why do people it's none of your business, critics, in other words. What people do in the privacy of their own homes sexually, not your business. But the critics have criticized the pair for sexualizing breastfeeding. Oh, they're sexualizing it. Here's a quote from some idiot on Facebook, some stupid lady. It's idiots like these two that are making it difficult for breastfeeding mothers to do so publicly without shame or ridicule. They're only increasing the sexualization of breastfeeding. There are no medical benefits for adults to consume breast milk, Breast milk is for babies. Hey, babies. First of all, this has nothing to do with breastfeeding your child in public. It doesn't sexualize it. No one is anybody watching the mother breastfeed their kid in public and being like, "Oh, that's very sexual." If you are, you're warped. And this does not increase that. There's no medical benefits for adults to consume breast milk? I don't know. We've been drinking cow's milk. Everybody drinks the milk from the breast of a completely different species than we are. All right? There's no benefits to any of this shit. People just drink it anyways. Yogurt is delicious. People love milk. All right? Is that your angle, lady? That's the end of the article, by the way. Can we get another stupid critic? No, this is all we got. Wow, I'm just rip-roaring today, aren't I, guys? Shit. This is a lot of caffeine and anger. My internet was down all morning, man. It just put me in a mood. And there's a war as well. That doesn't go well with my mind and my psyche. Nor yours, by the way, which is why I should be a little bit more pleasant on here. I'm so sorry. All right, let me do a 180. Hey, everybody. It's pretty funny when a woman quits her job and breastfeeds her boyfriend full-time, isn't it? Silly. But it seems like a fun time to spend your time, right? Who wants to bartend when you can just breastfeed all day? You know, and who wants to get a regular job when you can just have your mouth on your lady's nipple all day long? That just sounds like a lovely time to me. This is just two people trying to find their dreams and make them come true. Yeah, it just seems like a lovely existence if you ask me. Nothing wrong with it at all. If I could do it, I would do it. I'd breastfeed all day and then eat Twizzlers in between sessions. That's right. A breast and a Twizzler. That's how I would do it. Isn't that nice, guys? All right, forget about the war. Just think about breastfeeding and Twizzlers. That's what Jonesy's here for. Hey, everybody. It's your host, Jonesy. Thanks for reaching the end of the podcast. Thanks for sticking with me. We're at the portion now where I do some due diligence. For instance, I'm going to be publishing some phone calls after this. Just want to let you know if you'd like to hear some calls, stick around. If you'd like to call the show, 646-450-2012. Express yourself. I want to give a shout out to Raymond Resnick, who's a total masshole. He gave me a nice email. Ray said, Jonesy, thanks for reaching out. It was great hearing you read the story on Friday. I'm glad you realized how much of a train wreck it could be having Jersey girls in Florida. You definitely took a story with not much content and made it hilarious. Appreciate you, dude. I'm actually from Worcester, Mass, but haven't lived there in many years. Hearing your hilarious banter about the news is not only refreshing, but reminds me of home and improves my day. Take care and good luck with your life, man. Ray. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate that. It's a lovely email. You guys can send me emails as well to funnyjones@gmail.com. That's where you want to do it. Now, tomorrow's going to be Friday. It will be Friday. As you know, we're going to do Florida Fridays. So send me your Florida stories, will you? That'd be pretty cool. You can submit them through my website, weirdafnews.com, or you can drop them in the email. Or you can send them through Instagram, @FunnyJones as well. Or you can even tweet them, @FunnyJones. I'll get that as well. It's @FunnyJones pretty much everywhere. What else did I want to say? Oh, yeah, lastly, please check out the Patreon, patreon.com/WeirdAFNews. That way you can support the show in a way that you can, whatever way that you can. But if money's tight, no problem. No problem. You can support the show by telling a friend. That doesn't cost anything but your time. So I'd appreciate that if you guys could give me a little energy. Really, really cool. And I guess that's about it. We'll keep it short. And we'll see you tomorrow for Florida Fridays. Love you very much. Hope you're safe. Hope you're saying no to drugs. Stay out of the metaverse. Just kidding.
Hey, Jonesy. It's Lisa Blankenship from Huntington. Yeah, I like all those artist singers you were talking about. The sexier the music and the naughtier the better for me to get it on. And I just enjoy a lot the same music you do. Thank you. Bye. We love you, Jonesy.